By concealing your intentions, you keep people in the dark. And by keeping people in the dark, they don't know what to attack or what to defend against. Lead these people far enough down the wrong path and they will not realize your intentions before it is too late. The third law in Robert Greene's book, The 48 Laws of Power, goes over one of the main principles of deceivers and manipulators: concealing your intentions. And even though you and I aren't manipulators or deceivers, it is very good to know these principles, these laws, so that we can defend ourselves against real manipulators and deceivers out there. And it's just great to learn about the laws of human nature, about psychology of man. Because hey, one day we may come across some vicious man or woman who want to deceive us. And if we know these things, well, it's a lot harder to deceive us. At first, we are being told a story of a young French nobleman who wants to pursue a young countess. Naturally, this nobleman goes to one of the most famous courtesans of this time period, Ninon de l'Enclos, an expert in love and the art of seduction. This older lady tells the nobleman that he needs to throw this countess off the hook. He needs to play a game of seduction and not directly show his interest in her. And this to make sure that the young countess doesn't take the nobleman for granted. Ninon de l'Enclos then instructs the nobleman to make her jealous by appearing with other women, and also to move around in an unpredictable pattern, showing up at some places she shouldn't be at and not showing up at places where he has expected. All of this to create a confusing emotion within the young countess. And this is one of the main pillars if you want to seduce someone, to create this confusion within her. It all went according to plan. That until the nobleman decided to take things into his own hands and just tell the countess that he loved her. Now, this turned out to be a grave mistake, as the whole magic of the seducing art made the countess interested in the nobleman. And now when that was forever lost, so was any potential love between them. The key to seduction is to keep the other person dark, and instead of revealing your intentions, you just suggest them by dropping some hints here and there. It's a game of using decoys, in this case other women that you show some interest in, and then going back at showing interest in the real target, being the countess in this case, and then playing this game back and forth, making the countess the target in this case, not really sure about what's going on. Because if what you'd want is known, then the whole mystique is gone, and then the love that may or may not be there will also be gone. And this is actually not too far off from modern dating advice that says that we should not obsess over someone, but instead make it look as though we have a busy life, we have lots of things to do, we talk with other people, we talk with other women or men, and just suggesting that we have some intentions. Another story the book tells us is the one of Otto von Bismarck and his rise to power. Now, he put on a great waiting game, waiting for that second marshmallow. Von Bismarck wanted the German state, Prussia, to go to war against Austria, but the Prussian king opposed the idea strongly. Now, at the time, almost everyone wanted a war, but since the king didn't, the question was up in the air. Von Bismarck realized that he couldn't just agree with everyone else and put him out of favor with the king. Instead, what he did was to publicly support the idea of peace, and thereby also publicly support the king. As the king was very thankful for von Bismarck's support, he made him a cabinet minister, a position from which von Bismarck rose to even more power, becoming prime minister. And now he had the power to do exactly what he wanted. So of course, he went to war against Austria, something he had wanted all along but kept hidden because he did not want to oppose the king and fall out of favor with him. Now, had von Bismarck announced his true intentions, he would never have been made cabinet minister, and simply asking for it would have made the king suspicious. So instead, he chose to send misleading signals, thereby acquiring power. This is actually something that How to Win Friends and Influence People, the famous book written by Dale Carnegie, touches on briefly. It says that by asking for something you won't get it, but by yielding you get more than you wanted. Von Bismarck didn't ask to be named cabinet minister. What he did instead was just to yield to what the king's ideas and what he wanted. Von Bismarck was made cabinet minister, and from there on the path to power was open. An important thing to keep in mind is that concealing your intentions doesn't just go for if you want to rise to power or seduce someone. It is also an important principle in goal setting. And this is something that Andrew Huberman has talked a lot about. He says that you should never announce your goals to anyone, because by doing so, you get positive feedback from other people. You tell them about, I'm going to accomplish this and that, and the other people, they say, wow, that's so great. I can't wait to see you accomplish that. So good of you. The positive feedback you get is actually not very good for you. Huberman says that this positive feedback activates certain motivation and reward systems within our brain. Now, that quickly dissipates, and then it decreases the chances of us actually going out and accomplishing those goals. Telling people about your goals is especially dangerous when you just haven't started yet, because then you risk just being left at the launch pad. And now, all of this information by Andrew Huberman is of course science-backed. Concealing your intentions can be tough on the mind. It may feel as though you deceive people, that you're a horrible human being. And this is where it's important to keep in mind. We learn about this so that we can combat people that actually wants us no good. When it comes to what you and I should do, it's to note that this principle, this law, can be used effectively to seduce someone. To not just run up to someone and tell them that we love them, but instead keep this fun game going on. It is also the best way to rise to power in the Prussian Empire, and also we should be wary about telling people about our goals. Now, use this principle very carefully, and I hope you are up to good in this world, because otherwise you're gonna be a lot of trouble for a lot of people. And with that, I'm leaving you.